Hey everyone, Sassy Mouse here, and welcome to the 6th video in my road trip saga. After a long day of driving, everyone needs to sleep. Today, we'll be staying in a hotel and discussing ways to make a hotel stay safer. If you missed the adventure of the previous videos, including car prep, creating a safety kit, packing, planning, and hitting the road, check the iCard and the description. Now, let's get settled in for the night. One of the most important considerations while road tripping is where you're going to stay each night. If you choose to stay in a hotel, the following tips are for you. But if you choose to sleep in your car, check the next video in this series, which will be coming out very soon, to get the deets on that. Now, for the hotel sleepers, you're going to want to underestimate your distances. So, you think you can drive 6 hours in a day? You might want to roll that back to 5 or 4. Because hotels are a lot more difficult to get if you don't have a reservation, you're going to want to have a guaranteed place to stay at the end of each night. Therefore, you're going to want to underestimate how far you can actually drive in a day. If you're thinking, well, I can just find a hotel along the way, good luck with that. Depending on the day of the week and the time of year, all of the hotels, and I mean all of them, might be full. There was a time when me and my husband found ourselves in Wenatchee. We were hiking the Pacific Crest Trail and didn't even have a car to sleep in. We had backpacking tents, which is not great when you're in a city. We went from hotel to hotel to hotel to hotel, and every single one of them was full. We ended up staying at a motel that had cockroaches and one plug for the microwave, the TV, and the fridge. 3 things, 1 plug. Imagine what happened. They also didn't have an ice machine, had to go buy us a bag of ice, and then were rather pissed off when we wanted the entire bag of ice. Point is, you don't want to end up at a shitty motel with cockroaches and 1 plug. Ideally, you'll have reservations beforehand because you really can't trust that you're going to have a place to sleep unless you have a backup plan of sleeping in your car or in a tent and you have plans on where that's going to be. Point is, you're going to want to underestimate how far you can actually drive if you're staying in hotels. This is especially true if you're driving with children or pets, since they can't go as far, and you want to make sure you have a guaranteed place to take them at the end of the day. Don't push them, just drive less. You can check in late. Not everyone realizes this, but the check-in time is just the starting point. You can check in pretty much as late as you need to. If you've prepaid for a hotel room, they really don't care. I've checked into hotels as late as 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. It's not ideal, but it can be done. You get a lot less use of the room, but you have somewhere to sleep for that time. It is helpful to call ahead to make sure that that particular hotel isn't going to do something weird and tell them that you are still coming. Don't worry. But it is definitely not impossible to just call, let them know, and you can check in pretty much any time before checkout time. Although checking in an hour before checkout time might kind of suck. Speaking of, know your checkout time. The last thing you want to do is get charged for an extra night at a hotel that you're just about to leave. Know what time checkout is and get up well beforehand so that you can actually get ready and get your stuff packed up in the car. Most hotels have a checkout time of 10 or 11, so set your timer before then. If you know you're going to not make it by that time, you can also generally pay a small fee to get late checkout. Depending on the hotel, this fee will range from an actual small fee to a relatively large fee, but it can save your butt quite a bit and make your life a lot easier if you do so. In a lot of places that we stay, we do end up paying for late checkout just because it makes our lives a little easier, lets us sleep in a little bit more, and lets us not worry about having to rapidly pack everything up to the car. This may or may not be important to you, but it can be helpful. Don't use the quilt. Hotels do clean a lot of stuff, but the one thing that notoriously doesn't get cleaned is the quilt. No matter where you're staying, the sheets, all of the blankets, except for that quilt, will probably be clean. Thus, you're generally going to want to just push that thing off the bed. Just push it right off. Just let it sit on the floor and use the rest of the blankets to sleep with. If you brought your own blankets and pillow, you can also use those, but you'll want to check for bed bugs. Before sitting on a bed, putting any of your stuff on the bed, laying on the bed, anything, you're going to want to lift that mattress and check for bed bugs. The last thing you want is for a bed bug to hitch a ride on your stuff or on you to your home to infest your bed. Generally, checking ahead of time can avoid this disaster, and if you do find bed bugs, just stay somewhere else. Don't bother bringing them fuckers home. It's not worth it. But if there are no bed bugs, you can easily use your own bedding on the bed and avoid worrying about what other people have touched or not touched. I realized that I didn't even talk about how to look for bed bugs. Essentially, you want to lift up the top mattress and see if there are little red dots underneath it. These are the bed bugs. They're really tiny, but they're usually red in color, so they stand out pretty well against white sheets. And if you do see a bunch of little red dots, just don't bother. Just, tell the hotel that you found bed bugs and that you don't want to stay there and you'd like a refund. With COVID, hotel cleaning has gotten a lot better. However, depending on where you're at, you can't always trust that they cleaned to your satisfaction. Therefore, you might want to sanitize commonly touched surfaces. Have some sanitizing wipes or spray available so that you can wipe down things that are commonly touched. Even if they're already cleaned, you just want to make sure. Some of the things you should sanitize include the TV remote, door handles, sink handles, the alarm clock, light switches, and literally anything else you can think of that would commonly be touched by other people. Even big fancy hotels may have this problem. Not every employee is going to be perfect, and people might just miss things. This is the end of our discussion on hotels and the 6th video in this road trip adventure. If you missed any of the previous videos, check the iCard in the corner. Next time, we will conclude this journey with the discussion of car camping. To be notified when that video comes out, request that the concierge subscribe you and ring the bell to request service. Until next time, get some rest and stay safer out there.